I'm serious. And then we make excuses for them. They don't understand. Yes, the hell they do. We keep making excuses. We keep making excuses for people, Asiatic and Africans, as if they ain't sellouts, overseers, COINTELPRO operatives, because we don't expect that from them. And because they be out there in the venue. No. But 94, 93, 94, 95. Me and Hannibal went up there and nationalized. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't knock them. Let them do what they do. You know what I mean? I don't even battle with them. I just keep it moving and keep doing that as the people get this information, they themselves, some of them same people that's been playing them and dragging their lives out. When this stuff could have been solved, will be hanging from these damn trees, including a lot of them reverends. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, when you check, every once in a while, the synopsis of COINTELPRO operations to remind yourself to stop being naive. Stop making excuses for these Negro leaders. Because they're not, it's almost like that keeps caressing bums at the gym class and you're saying he doesn't understand what he's doing. No, I'm just saying this is going rather than taking him and changing or rearranging his head. Yeah. Do you want to? He's Asiatic. Oh, well, maybe he didn't really mean it because he ain't European or something. You know, I mean, it's like stop making excuses for these people.
Our sister, our friend, professional, qualified attorney, not Keisha, is only here to paint a picture of how we are viewed within the judicial system. Within the judicial system. Within the judicial system.
But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. And let me stop right there. Plenty of us done that. That's nothing wrong with that. Trusted in a lawyer or an attorney and thought that they would be for us in the middle of our downfall or some type of error we have made or some type of way we've been set up or an accident or just perfect. Okay, because I've done it. I've done it years ago. I haven't hired an attorney since, but I've done it years ago. And everything I've that's come my way in 2011, I'm beating. Y'all go get 9 charges dismissed without an attorney. I ain't bullshit. Y'all bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. I ain't afraid. Y'all talking about y'all banging on the cracker. Y'all ain't banging on shit. Faggot ass motherfuckers.
People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they fear them or that they'll leave them. We, their hearts, be thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or moments that could have been good but weren't, treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
This name won't teach the same universal lessons, keep you slave chains on your brain. Wanting Moorish presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, Most grand chiefs' heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too, for riding with dirty Moors that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty Moors from Canaanland to Cali, yeah, they claim Ali. Keep thinking, but get giving lessons in jigsaw, leave you puzzled. Your third eye muzzled, man smuggled. Know how to say lies for truth based, lying eyes and truth face. Ego Moors make you carry this suitcase or hold that umbrella. He walks like a fruitcake. Prophet watching from the soul, playing the root you take.
They're not told these things when they know we matter to change. And they've been playing religious games in the Europe. HMOs about 40 years ago. They ran that to the wall. Then they started white Christian sovereign, white state sovereign, then uniform commercial code operations, and financial statements 1, 3, and 9, basically financial statements. And they ran into the wall, because as soon as they perfect the vouchers and then move on them, and they threaten them or they arrest them. And this is why whenever you ask these UCCs to sell, ask them to name 5 people that perfect. People have been doing it across the country. Keep this in mind. And to show proof, just like if you're doing any marketing, you got to show some evidence of success. Stock. These are stocks. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, original manufacturing titles, and origins are all bank bonds. Now making all these processes for people to capture these things, and they can't name 5 that perfected the music number. We're not saying the processes in their principles incorrect. We're saying that they're rude. Now the Pope's telling you that they're rude.
Whose prince will you step in? Demons or genuines? MSDA members or Moorish Americans?
300 gangsters in the building. Pop! 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to, and I ain't naming no name. 300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems.
Plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty Moor crew, causing confusion. This dirty Moor crew.
You know, before I brought you your name and your nationality and the knowledge of your birthright, nobody was telling you anything. Everybody was living off your virtues. And now your nationality and your birthright back, and give it to you, explain it to you, set up a foundation, an institution by which that information can be dispensed. Now what Islam is, what Islam is not. He said, they didn't tell you anything before.
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet crew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty Moor crew, causing confusion. This dirty Moor crew will tell you partial your brain when there should be parcel. A free national name, Drew Ali got revenge by Moors, eyes wide open. Not Morisco world, eyes wide open.
F you guys, all of you. Taharka Bay, F you, liar, goddamn liar. For the Moor Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? Now, if you look right here, right? You see, this is the seal that Taharka showed on his show, saying that we sell these seals for $30. Taharka, make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to. Just make sure you bring the people forward, right? So the people on the other, make sure, Taharka, I know you watch our stuff. Make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to for $30. Make sure. But if you don't prove your claim, you're a fucking liar. And you can go fuck yourself.
Plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty Moor crew, causing confusion. This dirty Moor crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel. A free national name, Drew Ali got revenge by Moors, eyes wide open. Not Morisco world, eyes wide open. For her to make those lips clap, using Frank Gary, brother Larry, journalist traps.
mighty soldier. He go by the name of this brother right here. What I love about my brother Tahaka is that he don't just roll over like some of the Moors we know. You know, we bang on them and they just roll over and say, you know, we ain't gonna deal with that. Tahaka bang, he bangs back.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open. Not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her to make those lips clap. Using Frank Gary, brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers. Putting blame on active Moors for current games and others.
And giving on the surface, doesn't it? Until you study and find out that this is a social engineering mind control game and they've been part of it. Us and why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us.
Yeah, I guess if we take Teresa respectfully, they're a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money for mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're legitimate. Did you work with them?
Well, first of all, anyone that criticizes them publicly run the risk of being labeled as a hater or being placed on hate watch or being mentioned in one of their. To get brand have to do is criticize you yourself is at risk placed on hate watch.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. I wouldn't go there, but to call an African-American woman a white supremacist. I'm sorry to laugh, it's horrible, but it's also so ludicrous. Why would anyone
for white supremacy?
Why would anyone take them seriously?
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of influence at universities, and the name, the Southern Poverty, it's an image of this organization that is seeking to eradicate poverty, that's working on behalf of the damned. Totally false. They do nothing really for the poor. And so they have been able to millions of dollars with that image now is really pursue an ideological leftist agenda, and they punish anyone who criticizes them.
I've posted up in there, listed from the Southern Poverty Law Firm. Let's see what the law firm, just these people are getting the advice about the law. Let's see what the law firm has to say.
And why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us that's located here in Philadelphia. And trying to say that we set that girl up to get her killed and all that kind of stuff. And the Pope owns all of the corporate entities. And then they try to make her look like she was out to lunch because they know our people don't know this. And so she was suing them, so they put a hit on her.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open. Not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her to make those lips clap. Using Frank Gary, brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers. Putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake profits, heads on the coin, and pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. And I ain't named.
And sovereign citizen has nothing to do with sovereignty. He even said moron. And you can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. So then why are they still talking? These are dirty Moors. We're telling you, we're proving to you that they're dirty. If you want to follow them, that's on you. But do not ever think in your free mind that these people are going to talk crazy and we're not going to.
Study when you finish, study yourself. Tyrant, judge your bookshelf. Study when you finish, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study when you finish, study the higher. About that smell from Oscar Mayer.
Now this lamb shoulder is called a Moorish lamb shoulder, as in really tasty and succulent, but Moorish as in the flavors that are going into this. You can see I've got loads of different spices nice food is a combination of North, a little bit of Italian, combination of the Mediterranean and North African influence there.
Study, when you finish, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, when you finish, study the law. When you study no transfer, Moorish hymn composers. Study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study, when you finish, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 per class pass. I'd rather watch Taj.
Excellent literature under the name Moorish Order of the Round Table. Excellent literature.
And have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish Heritage History School. Don't endanger your life with a fool.
I'm thick skinned. You know, I'm looking for a whole different game. You know, I'm looking head and back. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the next generation. I ain't even, you know, I can't be bored. Simple.
And in my Supreme L voice.
To Hunter, Pig Pit, Bay.
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're in a awake world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of Kingdom.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Burning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving. Trying to make more sovereign citizens. These minions help kill your prophet, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man. Now the smother sellout. Settling.
These shows.
There's a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money for mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're with them.
First one that criticized of being or being placed on hate watch mentioned in one of that. So to get branded by this, criticize them. In fact, you yourself is at risk of being placed on go there. But to call a woman a white supremacist, I'm sorry to laugh, it's horrible, so ludicrous. Yes, for white supremacy.
Why would anyone take?
I have a lot of universities and their Southern Poverty Law Center. It conjures up an image of that is seeking to eradicate poverty on behalf of the downtrodden. Totally false, really, for the poor. And so they have been able to amass, millions of dollars. And what they do now is really pursue an ideological leftist agenda, and they punish anyone who criticizes them.
I've posted up in there, poverty law firm. Let's see what the law firm, just these people are getting the advice of the law. See what it has to say.
And why the Southern Christian law firms sick these shills on us.
Make sure you look up shills. Just make sure you look up shills. SHILLS. Look up shills.
That's located here in Philadelphia. That we set that girl up to get her killed and all that kind of stuff. All of the corporate girl looked like she was out there. People don't know this. And so she was suing them, so they put a hit on her.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open. Not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her could make those lips clap. Using Frank Gary, brother Larry, journalist traps. more is this the more active, most recurring gains and others, fake profits, heads on the coin, and pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these powers. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. And I ain't named.
And sovereign citizen has nothing. He even said that it's an oxymoron. And you can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. So then why are they still talking? These are dirty Moors. We're telling you, we're showing you, we're proving to you that they're dirty. If you want to follow them, that's on you. But do not ever think in your that these people are going to talk crazy and we're not going to say something about it. Study, when you finish, study yourself. Dirty iron, judge your bookshelf. Study, when you finish, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, when you finish, study the higher. Dirty Moors cookout, that smell from Oscar Mayer.
Now, this lamb shoulder is called a Moorish lamb shoulder. Yes, it is Moorish, as in really tasty and succulent, but Moorish as in the flavors that are going into this. You can see I've got loads of different spices here, and Moorish food is a combination of North African food, a little bit of Italian food. It's the combination of the Mediterranean and North African influence there.
Study, when you finish, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, when you finish, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish, study, when you finish, study the higher. Dirty Moors cookout, that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study, when you finish, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics, 500 per class pass. I'd rather watch Taj.
New Jersey, by the name of Taj Bay, puts out excellent literature under the order of the Round Table. Excellent literature.
And have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish Heritage History School. Don't endanger your life with a fool.
I'm not offended about it. I'm thick skinned. You know what I mean? Because I ain't in it for ego. I'm in it for a whole different game. You know, I'm looking head and back. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the next generation. I ain't even, you know, they can't do, I can't be bored. Simple.
Oh yeah, and in my Supreme L voice.
To the Harker, Pig Pit, And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. That means they sleeping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of King.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Bunning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving. Trying to make more sovereign citizens. These minions help kill your prophets, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man. Now the smother sellout. Sets links in K2 Kush days. Keep me red out. I got the knowledge to make these silly hoes question the pimping directors of music videos. Gay laws and persons with strap-on boots with heels. Too much graphic art faces. Boobs are not real. Since MCM and Troop, they use Timberland boots to get us all caught up in fashion, not the simple man roots. Got our people on dogmatic, not metaphysic. Exoteric, not esoteric is how you missed it. So out of it, you couldn't feel the natural mystic blowing through the air like it didn't give a shit. I hear the dirty Moors dissing, cause I said profanities. A lot of these grand sheiks need to take off the panties. Pull the thong out your crack vest wearing bitch ass nigga. Return to where the prophet found you, Negro ass nigga.
It's time to choose a side. You're either positive or you negative. You're either evil or you good. You understand what I'm saying? I know what side I'm on.
Yeah. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. We'll get the real one up. They were hating on the screen share. You know, you already know. They were hating on the screen share the whole time. Hating. Which, you know, no wrong. Of course you gotta hate. Gotta hate. So when we upload, we'll put up the video. You know what I mean? So that way you can get the visuals. Canaanland Moors Sunday class. And as you know, we're sending a big Islam to all the Moors worldwide, all the active Moors. Peace and love to you all. Start off with our letters to be read. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. And then reminder that all the joke and unreal people are those sellouts of the Moor Science Temple of America who are still around today pushing this like it's some church, when Moor Science Temple of America is supposed to be a regency for Moors to have a safe haven for stuff goes down. That's why I know Jordy said have emergency fund and all of that, right? And remember, that was on the obligation of the members. He set it up, give all the information to the people, and let them do what it is that they're supposed to do as Moors. And that's it. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. Now, Moors are going through that right now because they have the truth. They're exercising the fact of the truth, but people are hating, even though it's Black History Month and all that stuff, right? You know, it's Black History Month. We're supposed to be honoring Black stuff. They said Moor means Black and all that stuff, but they're not going to honor the Moors. You're going to diss the Moors. Moor means Black, but Black History Month comes, you're still dissing the Moors? All right. So Brother Lanre has been going back and forth with some goof by the name of My Sonny General, right? My Sonny General. And we said, you know what, we're not even going to call him My Son anymore. We're going to call him My Yout. So My Yout is out here talking BS because in social media, you could talk BS, right? But then when it comes time to show and prove, Black guys have nothing to say. Zero. Zip the lip, nothing to say. Highwayman pull up, got nothing to say. They pull their camera out, talk BS. Defend something with regard to rights, nothing. But as soon as more start talking about rights, they want to challenge. Brother Lanre Obey already got dragged on the ground and all that. You think that means something? You think that means something to him? You think he really cares that they pulled him out the car and dragged him on the ground and stuff like that? No, he don't care about that. Because he has sons. And his sons, they're going to know about their birthright. Not some video guy and he's Lanre Obey on Instagram and that's it. He's author. He's not Negro. He's not African Black guy. He's Moor. And he's not even from this side. He's from across the Atlantic and he knows that he's Moor. Matter of fact, he's from the same place where these people who celebrate Black History Month say they come from. He's from there. And he came over here and he's not saying, oh, I'm from over there. He's I'm Moor. What do you mean you guys have jurisdiction? How do you have jurisdiction? I don't have any of you guys' property. Prior to me being a Moor, I was you guys' property. Right? So these people out here that are playing whatever they're playing, we told you, we set up the forum. We paid the lecture and everything. We paid a Moorish lecture. So you guys don't have to hear it from Cujo and Amari and Moorish Science Temple or whatever like that. You could hear it from your favorite black guy. Lecture is paid for. Like it's happening. For all the black guys who have their little BS, don't debate us, debate your scholar guy. Step up to the plate with all your claims. Bring all your books, bring whatever it is that you got. We have the scholar waiting for you. He's already booked. Dr. Kaba. You see him in Hidden Colors. You see him in all this stuff. You guys know who he is. So don't stop playing. Bring your questions to the elder. Regard to, are we Moors or are we not Moors and all that BS. And let's see what your black guy scholar tells you. It doesn't even matter what we say. Right? Doesn't even matter. We'll go to you guys. And remember, he's already paid for it. Right? Show me where your rights got the case dismissed, or you being a Moor got your money back from them towing it. January 9th came and went. What was the outcome of this case? Post that. You know your rights, but suffered the same outcome as many black men suffered. SMH. Now, keep in mind, right? Keep in mind, Brother Lanre Obey is not from over here. He's from across the Atlantic. He's not from over here. Right? He's not from over here. He's from over there. You see his phenotype? Clearly he's not from over here. The same thing like they pull when we go over there. You're not from here. Same thing we pull over here. You're not from here. Oh, but Empire, Moroccan Empire. Okay. More subject. I get where you're coming from. Come on down, proclaim your nationality and get to work. Moore got to work. Wrote a book, got a videographer company. Remember, as a book, because remember the standard with the Moors is that they're supposed to press, like we were talking about in past classes. Right? So he has his book, has a catering company. And not only just a catering company in partnership with another Moor, showing unity. That people say, well, the Moors have no unity, you're not united or whatever. How come those Moors have a catering company as two Moors? Why? Just because they both had a brilliant idea, let's have a catering company? No, because unity. Not only that, like we say, films, videos, not just for Moors, films, videos for black guys, Europeans, Hindu people, weddings, whatever, because he knows how to run a camera too. Right? Amongst other stuff that he does. So his situation, he put it all on the record. My name is my name. Canaanland Moors. On his own platform. Laid it all out. 7 videos going in. Showing you every through the way, everything that happened when he went to court, until the verdict, when everything dismissed. Put the transcript up for everybody and everything. Where the black guys at? Nothing. Can't say anything. Have the transcript. Where the judge? Put it on the record that if he gave the highwayman 2 pieces of ID with matching picture and matching address, they violated his rights. In the transcript. Now that was that case that got dismissed, right? Remember, this is for all the black guys say more stuff doesn't work. But here's an individual who's not from here. He's from across the Atlantic, where these people say people brought them in a slave ship And then he's exercising as a Moor and getting his stuff dismissed, and Negroes are saying about they're not Moors. Black guys are talking about they're not Moors. How are you not Moors when we have somebody who came from where you guys came from on the slave ship? What do you mean? How are you trying to tell us when we have one of your guys, just like we have Brother Kaba, or that you like the slave name, Booker T. Coleman, because you guys don't have honor. You guys always pull the AKA with Morris, right? You don't pull AKA with certain other people, but people who start talking about Morris, all of a sudden you want to call them by their name that you should be calling them by. You want to call them by the fake name still. Try to keep people in a dumbed down mindset. Well, no, Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, and Hiawatha is a prophet of native people in America. Now go over there across the Atlantic, Egypt and all that stuff, because remember, he was the one teaching about the Dogon and teaching about ancient Egypt and all this stuff like that, right? I'll do it for all the black guys. Okay, well, his paradigm shifted. He's now going hard for Moors. That's why Moor Science Temple could call Dr. Kaba. Want to have you do a Skype with us so that we can, open the platform for anybody to come ask any question on Black History Month about the Moors. And he's like, yes, Islam. I'll see you on the 10th of February. Just because. So, Brother Lanre Obey, traveling because he's never had a license. It's just what it is. He has a nationality card. He has right to travel card. That's what his ID is. If he does anything, that's his ID. He's never had a license. Why? Because in 2004, license got suspended or whatever and expired. And he never went and got a new one. So there's no license to attach to him because it expired and because it was suspended. I know. Why was that? How come he didn't apply for a new one? Because he was doing time. And when he got out, he was already on this information. So why get a license? Why renew? If it's expired, that means they can't hold that to me. Little did he think they can't hold that to him. So now thing comes up that he gets pulled over. We bring the camera out and stuff like that. All the Moors who were at the meeting got the call, went over there, 10, 12 deep. Now, we've already had the conversation with the highwayman, with him, that what's happening, this has nothing to do with a license. This has to do with him not changing his address on his bail papers. So because he didn't change his address on his bail papers, there was a warrant out for him. Which is why the stop, when the highwayman was going around and trying to be mouthy with everybody, trying to agitate Moors who, we already know intelligent tone, like, go do something. Just stand around like everybody else. Stop bothering people, right? We already knew that car was getting towed and all that. Because what are they saying? They're saying breach of contract, which, it ain't, didn't put the address in. But it ain't no crazy big deal like that. Why? Because we get to the court date. And we did a class about this, put it already on the record, but just to stress the point for the Negroes who talk BS about this doesn't work. Remember, the example that we're using is not a Moorish American from this side. The example we're using is someone that's from across the Atlantic where our people say they got taken from by Europeans and brought to the wilderness of North America as slaves. Somebody from there that's over here now. And he's living his life as a Moor, not as an African anything. In full life. So he's in the court. I'm there in the stands watching the court's proceedings. He brings up the fact that, well, you denationalized me because never ever once did I identify myself as black. Well, the code of whatever, you can't say the code of whatever because Dred Scott case, blacks can't be citizens of you guys' corporation. The judge raised an objection and says, I don't want to hear anymore. He brought up a charter issue. So you guys need to go have an in-chambers hearing, figure this out, and then come back on for whatever date they set the court date for. This is the judge now. Remember, this is, after going from 9 a.m., this is maybe about 3 o'clock. This is what comes down at 3 o'clock. Leaves that, waits for the day of the thing. Has the in-chambers hearing. They're trying to talk BS. He's like, no, whatever. Let's go back to trial then, since you guys want to play BS. Because, the judge in the in-chambers hearing was trying to pull rank. And Moore already knows that this is a conflict of interest. So it's not really an in-chambers hearing. They're actually buying time. Because they don't know what to do. Because they have nothing on the Moore. Because they brought up their highwayman as a witness. He was horrible because Lanre destroyed him on the stand when he presented his facts, which was, how are you telling me I had a license when I have the license right here that says it expired in 2004? What license did I give you to say that I'm a driver? What license? What do you mean I get? What license did I give you? It expired since 2004. It's 2017 right now. Nothing to say. The judge is just sitting there looking at Turbinator, the sellout. And remember, they're always going to use one of your own. So they had the Sikh go up there on the stand, right? Lanre destroyed him on the stand, destroyed him just with evidence. Forget Moorish or whatever, because remember, the whole point of the trial is, put his status on the record, and then they put their status, and then because we're diverse, there should be no jurisdiction, no trial, no nothing, everything dismissed. But no, this is not the point. The point was for Brother Lanre to prove his claim, because he's not letting them classify him as Negro, Black, colored, or African, or holder of that birth certificate, because it was expired 2004. So let's go to court. I'll just present my evidence. You guys present your stuff. Right? So all the people talking about, well, get the car back and whatever. Now, once he gave the papers that the name was all right and there was no issue, the car got released. It's not about paying for it. Because in their corporate world, they do it principles. If you get pulled over, you don't have the insurance thing in the car, they'll give you the ticket and say, bring the insurance thing, fight the ticket. And then when you go to court and you show the insurance thing, they're going to say, okay, fine, dismissed. It's that simple. It's supposed to be like that for everything, but it's not like that, because the reason why there's a court is because it's an administrative building. So they're all about getting finance. And that's all they're about. Jail time or finance. We either want your physical energy or we'll take some finance. Or you can go give your physical energy to somebody else, and we'll call that community hours. And we'll write off your quote unquote penalty, whether it's years, months, whatever. This individual who's quote unquote Nigerian, not from over here, was from over there, came over here and isn't playing that he's African. Why? Because he knows that in this culture, they had fezzes and turbans and all that. This is not fiction to him. You know, Moor is not some stuff that some black guys made up in America or whatever. That's not what it is to him. This is actually birthrights to him. So for somebody who's stateless to have something to say about somebody, remember, he's already a national. Forget him saying that he's a Moor. He's already a national. Everybody on that side is national. They don't play that they're black and all that stuff over there. Nowhere over there do they play that. Nowhere across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, do they talk about there's black people and orange people and yellow people. They don't talk like that. So he had a nationality coming in. And now he's saying that he's a Moor. He's saying he's not a ward of them. They're battling him. He even has the video up of the highwayman that followed him. Now, remember, people want to talk about, well, I did dismiss the case, show me the case of the whatever. How about show you the video of him getting out the car, going to the highwayman's car with his camera and asking the highwayman, hey, like, how come you're following me? Well, because you're driving without a license. Okay, so shouldn't I be arrested or something like that if I'm driving without a license? Like, why don't you do something? If I'm driving without a license, how come he didn't do something at that point if that's so illegal? And they already know because they just had him in court maybe a week before for license, whatever. What do you mean case dismissed? How about going to Petro Canada and getting the tape of him getting violated for his court session, getting the tape before the highwayman? How is it that the highwayman don't have the tape yet and he already has the tape, a copy, which they were going to try to use against him? Why? They have so much authority and power. If they have so much authority and power, why did the highwayman, when he got his car towed, that was being crazy on the video, go in court and lie and say that we were the ones that were being aggressive? And Islam to the Noirs, senior and junior, and everybody else who was there that had their camera on these highwaymen, that we were able to take our record. Forget them and their vest camera, helmet camera, and all that BS. Our record, Lanre took to court when highwayman said, these guys are being aggressive. Lanre put in the video. The judge stopped while it was running. Stopped it while it was running and told these people, you guys are freaking wrong. You guys are wrong. Because remember, they had to change the judge because, you know, the judge that was on the case, right? the judge that was on the case, remember what we were talking about the other day about people get locks and then they change or whatever? Okay. So how about the judge who was on the case that was looking at Turbinator like this? Because she couldn't believe the audacity of him, but what's she gonna do? She has to sit here and listen to this BS of him not even making sense of what he's talking about. She had to jump off the case. Why? Because she was the prosecutor for when Lanre did his years in the pen. You told me that there wasn't some kind of conspiracy going on from the start? And why? Because you have an individual, right? You have an individual who, when you check them, in their history or whatever, you know, you see that they have record and all that stuff, and then you check the charges thing, and you think, oh, the charges is who that individual is forever. Like this is how they label people so that when they get out here, they can't get no job, they can't do anything, and they just go right back in revolving door, right? It was different. He didn't come out of here, come out the pen as Negro. He came out the pen as Moor, so he already knew, okay, you know what I mean? What could I apply right now to be able to sustain myself without having to go to these people? Immediately was on independence, right? Wrote the book, doing the video thing, right? Going around talking to people, pushing his book that he wrote, right? When, like, you have to really be involved, right? You can't be a outsider wanting to know what is this and more. You can't be Negro, black, colored to be part of this, right? Because we don't deal with that. And again, if this man is going to have a judge stop the thing in the middle of it playing, stop it, to tell these people how wrong they are. This is the judge now, telling them how wrong they are. And remember, this is the new judge because the other judge was the prosecutor for his first time ever when he got in trouble. She's a judge now. Now think about those dynamics. Do you think, and remember she's Asiatic, do you think that she was going to take it for them? Knowing that, hold on a second, this guy, when I was a prosecutor, I was against him. Right? When last time I engaged him, I was against him. I was totally on the other side. And we threw the book at him just because we could. We threw the book at him. And then years later, you meet up again and it's completely different individual. What do you mean he doesn't have a lawyer? He had a lawyer last time when we, why is he wearing that stuff on his head and all that stuff? Like, what is this going on? Because one thing, in him having a free name from over there, the whole mindset was, even though I'm coming with a name from over there that has nothing to do with Europeans, if I have their instrument over here, I'm under the jurisdiction of them. But my name's not. How could they do that? And then you get into the all caps, why they all caps everybody. And on that is why he said, I'm putting big on my stuff. Forget just having a name from over there is gonna free me over here. I'm gonna put the bay on there. Put the bay on. Now it's in all the transcripts, all the court stuff that he's dealt with. They put bay. How come they put bay? Because they knew that the license that he had was expired since 2004 and they had no case. They just kept it going for dumb Negroes because they already know that there's no case. And again, just on the strength of the video, they lost. Just because they brought up that highwayman and that highwayman lied. That's why I can tell certain people F their self, because they lied. They're trying to present a claim, but they're lying. They're trying to present a claim, but they're lying. And then you put the truth up next to their claim, and then you want to run to YouTube and complain and say that, oh, they're violating my privacy, and I want to put a complaint on this YouTube page because they're violating my privacy because they're using my pictures and my videos without my permission. Some of these people are fucking sellouts. All these black people, this Moor put his life on the line for them, just like the Moor said. The Moor told these people that, hey, you're fighting us while we're fighting for you? What the hell do you, like, what do you mean? How are we putting our life on the line for Moors to be recognized again? And then people who aren't Moors, that aren't risking anything, risking nothing, it's like overtime, like 15 overtime dealing with these Europeans. Why? Because they got some Negroes in their pocket that keeps assisting them by giving them their energy, opposed to them putting their energy with their people. You think the sellout's a joke? You think there's no Moorish unity? We didn't even pay for the lecturer. We didn't pay. Canaanland Moorish Temple didn't pay. A Moor outside of Canaanland backed it. There's no Moorish unity? The hell are you talking about? What Moorish whatever are you on that there's no Moorish unity? Well, obviously you're listening to the sellouts. The black guys with fezzes on, the Negroes with fezzes on, the colored Africans with fezzes on. And you think that's what it is to be more them people? When we say, Brother Lanre, beat up these people's case, forget, put status on the record and get this dismissed because they don't have jurisdiction. Let's go into jurisdiction. How jurisdiction? Because I already know what I got as far as my evidence or whatever. So let's go into jurisdiction. Let's really put it in front of the judge and let's see what happens. What happened? Everything dismissed. And all they can ask is, well, why did you get the money back for the toll? Dumbass. That's why the world does not respect our people, because they have history and law separated. The law is the white man's stuff. History is the white man's stuff. They have to go back to Central Africa to get the truth about their history of whatever. What the hell are you talking about? You have a freaking iPad. What do you mean you have to go to freaking Africa to go find out something about your history or whatever? What are you talking about? You got libraries all over the goddamn place with books in them from all over the world. Like, what the hell are you talking about? This is not the time to play. You're not Negro, black, colored. How are you telling a Moor? How are you trying to tell a Moor something when you're stateless? There ain't no Black History Month. This is Negro Week. You guys are Negroes. Not no Black history, nothing. This Negro history, because that's what these people are, playing around. They don't want to be Moors, but they'll be Negroes and celebrate Black History Month. But they won't be Moors. Right? You think that European was lying when he called you people slaves on TV, on CNN? You think they were playing? You think you're, oops, I mean blacks. That's how they look at people who classify themselves as colors, as slaves. Why? Because you're a mental slave if you call yourself an adjective. That's just what it is. The world knows this. Even some Europeans on CNN know that blacks are slaves. But you don't want to not be blacks to not be slaves. You want to stay blacks but not be slaves when blacks are slaves. Check out the play that they're running on our people. The European came, slaves, oops, blacks. And the blacks are mad. Instead of stop being blacks and you won't be slaves. How about that? How about that? Why not that be the solution? Don't be black and fight for slave abolishment. How about just not be black? That way, slavery can't even come up. And it shouldn't, because it's abolished. What are you talking about it still for? If it's abolished, if slavery's abolished, why are people still talking about it? Why are people still saying they're part of some stuff when it's supposed to be abolished? Then you want to know why Europeans always get mad when you bring up slavery? Because it's abolished. Like, why are you bringing that up? You guys said you wanted it abolished. Europeans are happy enslaving people. The Negroes were fighting. And then it's abolished and they're still talking about it. Which lets the world know that you don't even know what the hell you want. You can't even figure out what you want. But the so-called African from Africa, where you come from, is gonna come to America, get tickets, get his car towed, have everything dismissed, but you're not gonna hear what he's saying because he's saying that he's a Moor. If he's saying well, he was African, you would be down with it. If you're saying he's black and he's all that, you would be down with it. Well, blacks are property. So blacks can't have cars and exercise rights and all that stuff. You don't have any. It's what it is. You get mad, change your status. But you know, only our people could do that. Which is why Moor says study. Matter of fact, peace to Brother Sabir Bey for reminding us to make sure that we study Carter G. Woodson, the founder of Negro History Week. Because if he's the founder, then, you know, maybe he's somebody that we should listen to. if he's the founder of it, maybe he has stuff that he wrote about that we should maybe pay attention to. But, you know, Negroes don't read. Blacks don't read. Colored, African, whoever's don't read. They say that they study, but they don't really study. There's no way that they study. Because if they studied, they would know that they're Moors and nothing would be a dispute or a debate. Nothing. If they studied, they'd know that we're Moors, and then they can study whatever, religious, whatever they want. But your nationality is Moors. You could be Christian. You could be Hebrew. You could be whatever you want. What's your nationality, though? Moor? All right. But they don't want to do that. They want to keep playing this game. This is how you know that they're sellouts. Because it's not that hard to figure out. Look at something black, put your hand next to it. You don't look like that, then you're not black. Find something colored, put your hand next to it. Does it match? Then you're not that. Ask somebody, hey, what's Negro mean? They'll tell you. And they'll tell you that it's derogatory. So it's not something that you would apply to people. You just won't do that. But let's hear what the founder said. That's what the founder said. You might study the history as it was offered in our system from the elementary school throughout the university, and you would never hear Africa mentioned except in the negative. You would never thereby learn that Africans first domesticated the sheep, goat, and cow, developed the idea of trial by jury, produced the first stringed instruments, and gave the world its greatest boon in the discovery of iron. You would never know that prior to the Mohammedan invasion, about 1000 AD, these natives in the heart of Africa had developed powerful kingdoms which were later organized as the Songhai Empire on the order of that of the Romans and boasting of similar grandeur. Keep in mind, Songhai Empire, there was an Ali on the throne. Just keep in mind. Because remember, they rep Songhai Empire as the African stuff, right? Okay, well, just remember, Sunni Ali is Songhai Empire. Just to put it out there. And he's a brother. He's not a pale Arab and all that stuff. They're going to try to go there. Unlike other people then, the Negro, according to this point of view, was an exception to the natural plan of things, and he had no such mission as that of an outstanding contribution to culture. The status of the Negro then was justly fixed as that of an inferior. Teachers of Negroes in their first schools after emancipation did not proclaim any such doctrine, but the content of their curricula justified these inferences. An observer from outside of the situation naturally inquires why the Negroes, many of whom served their race as teachers, have not changed this program. These teachers, however, are powerless. Negroes have no control over their education and have little voice in their other affairs pertaining thereto. Okay, now again, all the black people who have a problem and think that when Moors talk, we don't know what we're talking about, right? Again, this is another Moor, right? Brother Amari El Bey, Greetings and light, family. Attached is a letter that I have been sending out to the school officials for the past 4 years. Add or delete what you deem important, and if you have children, send to the schools that your child attends. Make sure you find out who the trustees are within the ward, in all caps, that you are forced to be in, and send a copy to them as well. Mitzi Hunter, Minister of Education for Ontario, regarding students. In honor of our ancestors who came before us, and from the blessing of the Almighty Creator, where love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice are the divine tenets we follow, I hope this letter reaches you in good health and spirit. In the coming month of February 2017, the celebration of Black History Month will be taking place in schools across North America. Students will be taught about the so-called slave trade from Africa, the success of countless alleged firsts for so-called Black people, whether involved in sports, engineering, education, business, politics, and other categories of professional endeavors or professions to which melanin-dominant people have participated. It is not that we are against the celebration of our people's achievements. What we object to is the psychological and physiological damage North American societies are inflicting on our children, knowingly or unknowingly, through mental conditioning through Black history. To begin, the so-called slave trade was kidnapping for purposes of human trafficking, which evolved into attempted genocide of indigenous cultures by joint stock companies setting themselves up as de facto colonial governments to steal the natural resources of the indigenous people around the globe. These acts of birthright thievery to this day has not abated in any degree. We are constantly told crime does not pay, but for some it pays handsomely. And none of these people have ever been incarcerated for their crimes against humanity. Apologies do not wash away acts of criminality. Second, right, remember, this is not a Negro writing this, right? This is an awakened Moor. This is a Moor whose offspring, whose heirs are in the system. They go to school there, but they're not in free national name and all that. They're just in the system. But the parents, though, they're speaking on behalf of their heirs who have legal guardians. Legal guardians are Negro, Black, colored people. And they're just putting it on the record so that these people know that during the month of February, when you guys start your brainwash program, your social engineering program, our children are not involved in anything having to do with that. Zero. All right? And this past 4 years, that's been going on. Every month, every February, I mean, sending the stuff to them, putting them on notice every single February. No kidnapping, no arrest, no, you can't do that, and all that stuff, right? Second, the illusion of countless first successes for so-called Black people. This may be true in that Black is a tag of slavery, not a nationality. The word Black conjures up everything negative in society. It is an adjective, a description word, not a noun. We can only trace so-called Black people's history to the time of slavery, or possibly to the first time Caucasians or Aryans encountered melanin-dominant people. We refuse to tell these so-called Black people that they are Moors from the Ottoman Empire, the Olmecs, the Washita Empire, Ruth the Moabites. That their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa, across the Great Atlantis, even onto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands. We refuse to let them know that they are indigenous to all the Americas, and the pyramid on the American dollar is their seal. The so-called founding fathers copied the democratic ideals of the U.S. constitutional government from the highly developed political system of the Iroquois League of Nations, which was Moorish. In fact, at the risk of offering sensitivities to those who might read this document, it was the Moors in 711 who civilized Europe, not the other way around. J.A. Rogers documents the identity of 5 Negro mulatto American presidents passing for white, whom were presidents: Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, Warren Harding, Andrew Jackson, and Abraham Lincoln. If this is true, the question is, why did these men have to hide their true identity? And why is this lie continuing, with President Obama stating as the first? People of note: Queen Charlotte Sophia, the grandmother of Queen Victoria. Europe's royal families descended from so-called black rulers. This is why some of Europe's oldest royal noble families are called the black nobility. Beethoven, the dark-skinned Moor, called the black Spaniard. His teacher, the immortal Joseph Haydn. Queen Khalifa, which California is named. The history and knowledge stretches to the stars, thus the reason for this mass book burning in Europe and the penalty of death if melanin people were caught reading. See why blacks don't read? Because if you identify with the slave brand, then you have the slave mind. And whatever is in the mind of the subjugated people would be now in your mind, which is why our people refuse to read. Unless it's some picture magazine, whatever BS, they're not reading. Unless a European told them that they're going to get some whatever if they read this, or, you know, go to this school or whatever like that, reading is not going to be fundamental or fundamental. Right? The point is that our people, once they say I'm black, you just adopted the mindset of your slave foremothers and forefathers, which is why today our people still don't read. If you want to hide anything from a Negro, put it in a book that you don't read. You don't read. Then when you look at the bookshelf, realize the book, the whole bookshelf opens up into the vast chamber where all the jewels and all the stuff sit in or whatever. These guys leaving, trying to break open some safe when everything is hiding behind the bookshelves. Go check all the movies. And then all the black movies, these guys never check the bookshelf. They always go for the safe, like a dummy. Always. Always go for the safe. Never once did they check the bookshelf. Because Negroes don't read. Because they don't read, they suffer. Some inventions from melanin-dominant people: agriculture, alphabet, air conditioning, airplane, airship, the blimp, helicopter, astrology and calendar, automatic transmission, batteries, electrolyte, refrigerator, heated furnace, bicycle, guitar, boomerang, bow and arrow. Nubia was never called the land of the bows. Cattle industry, cellular phone, chemistry, or Nubia was even called land of the bows. Computers, micro, cuisine, doorknob, electricity, engine, gasoline, fire extinguisher, forks, spoon, guns, healing arts and sciences, hospitals, language, light, electric, math, sciences, paper bag, paper, peanut wizardry, pen, fountain, scales, shaking hands, shoe lasting machine, spiritual theology, street sweeper, steel, iron, sweet potato wizardry, telephone transmitter, toilet, traffic light, elevator, seed planter, typewriter, machine, etc. Although Caucasians took credit for many of these inventions, the evidence and names of the true inventors are not too hard to find. Remember, so-called black people, slaves, could not have patents on any of their inventions. Most of the studies came from the Black's Law Dictionary as well as unabridged dictionaries and includes books considered Index Prohibitorum or Index Expurgatorius, words and tags that were placed on our people. I have included the primary meaning as well as the denotation as opposed to connotative meanings in this document for your understanding and hopefully for clarification of why I have come to this decision. Some words are as follows: Black, Negro, colored, minority, African, Canadian, African American. To illustrate my aforementioned points are Black being an adjective. In Moor science, we are taught when you speak or write a word, you are casting a spell. Spelling, it may sound superstitious to you, but in no way does this word define our children or our people. In the law dictionary under the word black, we find words such as blank act, blank list, black codes, blackmail, black magic, etc. Things that conjure up negative or evil thoughts. Negro, a black person, a member of the Negroid race, not in scientific use. The law dictionary said it means a black man, one descended from African race and does not commonly include a mulatto. But the laws of the different states are not uniform to this respect. Some include in the description Negro, one who has 1/8 or more of African blood. Tag of slavery, no nationality, emphasis mine. Colored, having color, colored tissue paper, also colored, often offensive. Minority, a racial, religious, political, national, or other group thought to be different from the larger group of which it is part. When Negro, Black, colored, Indian, minor is not accepted, a new word must be created, used to keep you under the corporate legal fiction status. Thus, we get African Canadian, African American, still tags representing slavery. How can anyone use such words to represent another individual of the human family? If it is not yet clear, check out the word white. Over the years, I've had my concerns pertaining to the timing and relevance of this month's importance. However, I participated due to psychological and physiological mental conditioning. After long studies on the true histories of my people, I came to the conclusion my soul is not at liberty to participate or allow my children to take part in a lie. If we really want to edify and empower our children, we can start by teaching them this information, not that their beginning started and ends with slavery. Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance, Albert Einstein. A few Bible verses have helped me with this decision. Knowing the connotative meanings of those words used in this society and still consenting to them is like putting pants on a whale or a snake for that matter. I am requesting that my children be excused from class when the teachings of any subject having to do with Black History Month is being taught. Also, they are not to be marked or given any assignment pertaining to Black History Month. If it goes against their final grade, so be it. Please, if you have any questions or concerns of what I have written, don't hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, XREL. And sent to school board trustee, Curry Andrews, Joan Redhead, principal, and Pamela Bondette, principal. And, you know, every year when the Black stuff happens, they get excused from class. They don't have to take part or whatever like that. Most of the time, they'll accommodate them and find something you know, more relative to their culture for them to do. Now, why would they do that? And all these other Negroes are just sitting there parading in the black stuff. All these other Negroes' children are playing the black BS. And then the Moorish children are allowed by slave master to not be fed the brainwash porridge. Why would slave master say yes to his request? Remember, past 4 years, he's been doing that. Past 4 years, he's been doing that. And these people haven't kicked them children out yet for whatever. Nothing. Matter of fact, they're getting mad because when something happens with the child, they always have to call the parent. And there's always some BS that the Moor was minding his own business or whatever, and people want to come playing around when it's not playtime. They get whatever they get, they go tell. Right? Just like these people that we see, you know what I mean? Moors with fezzes on that are acting like Negroes. And then Negroes that don't want to be Moors. Same stuff. Right? If you can't take blows, don't throw blows. Like, don't throw stuff. Because stuff might get thrown back and you're going to be mad. And then you're going to go tell, or you're going to do something stupid. The Moor's parents will come. High fives all around. Don't take any BS from these people disrespecting your birthrights. Is there a problem there, principal lady? Well, you know, that's my, what do you mean what do you mean he did something wrong? What do you mean? Well, the other boy was whatever. Oh, but didn't you hear that? He said he called him black. Like he knows he's not black. Why is he calling him black when he tells him don't call me black? Don't get mad. High five. Don't get mad. But thanks for calling me though. Appreciate that. You know, but don't worry. Tell those boys stop calling him black. And we wouldn't have to have these conversations. Just like how you know, make sure you tell everybody else. Notice the principal is notice the agent. And everybody under you, principal lady, is an agent. So you should probably let them know about that letter I sent you. You know, feel free to make photocopies, give it out to the whole school. Let everybody know. Just so you can be clear when it comes to my children. Because, you know, we're not Negroes. We're miseducated, corrected Negroes. You see the name there, you see, you know, Ham, and then you think, you know, oh yeah, he's under jurisdiction. You can't say, no, that's just XRL. That's not really. That's you know, X relation. You know, come on, principal, you know the stuff. Yeah, that's X relation. So don't think that that's who's talking to you when we engage each other. The Moor is going to be coming to check you. Right? These teachers, however, are powerless. Negroes have no control over their education and have little voice in their other affairs pertaining thereto. In a few cases, Negroes have been chosen as members of public boards of education, and some have been appointed members of private boards. But these Negroes are always such a small minority that they do not figure in the final working out of the educational program. The education of the Negroes, then, the most important thing in the upliftment of Negroes is almost entirely in the hands of those who have enslaved them and now segregate them. The same thing that Brother Lanre is dealing with this Negro, trying to tell him something. No different than these Negroes mad at the European telling them the truth on CNN, which is reputable stuff. You think they would say, well, if blacks are slaves, then let's not be blacks so we won't be slaves. They won't go there. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Go watch Canaanland Moors. Why the slaves followed the North Star. And why Negroes pretending like they're not from over here. The slaves followed the North Star. That's not African culture. Like, that's over here culture. Because they use that to escape slavery to Canaan, which is over here. So if they knew how to escape slavery to Canaan, which is over here, clearly these people who came here on a slave ship were from here. Why would they know about the culture here? Oh, because they were with the Black Indians, and the Black Indians and them were on the plantation together. So wouldn't that mean that the people who came here on a slave ship maybe didn't come here on the slave ship? They were, quote unquote, the Black Indian, which is why your black scholar guy told you. That's why your black scholar guy told you. The education of the Negroes, then, the most important thing in the uplift of the Negroes is almost entirely in the hands of those who have enslaved them and now segregate them. Falling for the trick. Not being yourself. The game could be over, but our people want to be Negro black colored. Why? Moors have no idea. We cannot figure it out because we were Negro black colored at one time. And that alone should be enough for people to say, hey, let's just hear what these Moors are saying, because, I mean, they were once black and all that. Maybe there's something to this. But, you know, again, not only don't our people read, but they don't think either. And now because they don't think, now we got to deal with that. Because these people don't think. Refuse to. Refuse to think. And it's a shame. They will never ever think that they're learning, but they're not learning anything. Constantly. Just because I don't hear what the Moors are saying. Because they're either Moors or the colored people who for unity with the Moors, but they're not going to be Moors. How is that unity? And we're all calling ourselves different stuff. What do you mean unity? Ladies, please don't let them play you. Because that's all they're about. That is all they're about. Playing our people. Right. And then we're gonna go to Forrest Whitaker at Moor's Black Panther world premiere, red carpet. Just go watch that and just go to 50. That's all. And that's all. For studio, Black Panther world premiere, red carpet, 52 seconds. Interesting that it's 52 seconds, but you know, we're not gonna look into stuff and, you know, just, you know, create fake stuff because, you know, something added up, but, you know, it didn't really, we'll leave it out, you know. But 52 seconds where you would see that. Oh yeah, Islam to the Moors in the chat. If we had any whatevers, but you already know. Free reign on Dirty Moors heads in the chat. You know, don't be shy. Take heads. Shimitar Bay, Guillotine L, whatever you do, do your do. Right? Yeah, that's a good one, the mental. That's a good one, Supreme L. You know, we might have to do something. Reading fundamental. Reading fundamental. But the day sent a question. I have one of the brothers approach me and national driver's license. Have you ever heard anything about that? Well, Moorish national driver's license is a clown, because that's why would you have a driver's license that's Moorish when license is a permission slip to do something that you already had the right to do, but they don't want you to do that right? So if Moors are telling you Moorish driver's license, wouldn't that mean that they're enslaving you? Nobody told the Moors your own's going to put you back in slavery. If Moors have a Moorish driver's license, Moorish national driver's license, and you think that's your birthrights, then put on your helmet and go do your thing. You realize quick fast, you know, why they call it a Moorish national driver's license and not a Moorish travel pass or right to travel identification. They're going to tell you Moorish driver's license. You take them serious? A Moorish national driver. If there's a national driver out there, please put yourself on the record. National drivers that are Moors. Listen to these guys. A Moorish driver's license. Moorish driver's license. That's like Moorish passport. You got a nationality card for it. What do you got a nationality card for? Jenna Araya L. Greetings, Kudro. I listen to you and Taj frequently talking about the fact that we must share this info with others around us or we will not make it. I have tried many times to wake up family and friends and they refuse to look into this further or flat out reject it. I try to give them a little at a time instead of overwhelming them and they still refuse to see. What should one do in those situations? Well, in those situations, what I've done is, you know, because it's family and friends, you know, you accommodate. So they say party at their house, you know, party up, but you know, the fezzes and turbans up when I come in there. See how long at the party. You know, because, you know, you're just yourself. This is not some put on today and then take off tomorrow. This is life. So, you know, if they play those games about they don't want this information and all that stuff, you know, some Moors, you know, I know some Moors personally that have gone the length of, all right, then whatever, and they go about their business. Because clearly these people are a detriment to them, being that they're on the mindset that they're at. You know, there could be things in the family history that they know this will get all the family out of the family history BS. But if they don't want it, then hey, what am I gonna do? And I'm not gonna be around y'all being crazy. You know, you need a hand, give me a call. But if not, you're on your own. Because, and you know, of course, every time they need a hand, they get a ticket. They want. That's when they know Moors. You know, and again, you know, Moors, you know, love is the first principle. So of course, even though they don't want their birthright, they just want to know how to get out this ticket for a one thing. You know, Moor put them onto some info. It's one of those situations with regard to the miseducation of the Negro that, you know, even if we say, you know, European is telling them, they still don't want it. And then you realize that, you know, some people, this is their first time back. So they got a lot of stuff to experience before they get to your level. So don't be mad, you know what I mean? Don't hate, don't get your blood boiling for nothing. You just keep studying. You know, you keep dropping those little facts on them. You know, whether they want it or not, doesn't matter. The point is that you told them. The point is that at least, instead of all these fake people around them that's feeding them BS, feeding them Super Bowl and feeding them NBA championship and all this BS, right? At least they have you to give them some jewels, right? Whether what they do with them is up to them. It's their jewels. You know, that's the good part about this, that you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty if they don't take it. It's theirs. They pick up the $100 that they dropped or not. All you're doing is hey, you got the $100 over there. They're looking at you like you were a fez. I ain't listening to you and all. Then don't go with $100. You better leave that $100 alone. Let somebody else do something with that. You know, don't get hexed. Because they don't want it, so I'm gonna go pick it up. No, they'll destroy you faster than they can. Just leave that where it is, and you go about your business. You know, and yeah, giving them a little bit at a time, because always remember that the people who don't get this, you're not telling them for now. You're telling them for when they come to their senses, and then it hits them then. You know what I mean? You're not telling them for when you tell them. You know for when you tell them, but for them, that's whenever it is that key is gonna hit them, you know? And they realize that, oh, that's what that meant. And they have a eureka moment. And hopefully that gives them the shift from wherever they were at to the next level. So then they can start, you know what I mean? You know, because the thing with our people is, you know, they keep perpetuating this thing about this Willie Lynch and all that stuff. So these like that created the Willie Lynch letter created their brainwash that they're under, because they push this thing and it's not even real. It's not even a real letter. A brother wrote that. Willie Lynch letter. A brother wrote the Willie Lynch letter. Right, just look up and Pym, death to the Willie Lynch speech. Right? He rewrote it to see what Black History Month we're talking about, remember, too, right? So let's talk about some Black History Month. Willie Lynch letters are fake. Well, you know, the things that they say in the Willie Lynch letter, it's really happening to our people. Yeah, because they put that on themselves. A brother wrote the letter. He even came out and said, hey, I wrote the letter. Like, you didn't write a letter. That was the European slave master who wrote that letter. He came out and said he wrote the letter. And they told him, the guy who wrote the letter, they told him, nah, that's from the slave master when we were enslaved in America. And that's what they're using right now against our people. Well, if you have the goddamn manifesto for how you got in slavery, how about you just reverse all the stuff that's in the Willie Lynch letter? How about you just do opposite of what they said they're gonna do in the Willie Lynch letter? You have the actual letter. So why don't you fix your problems? Well, you can't fix your own problems. You can't fix your problems as a Negro. You have to step out of being black to see your problems. Because you never see your problems in darkness. That's why they classify our people as black and Negro and colored. If something's colored, it's hidden. Our mind is colored, it means our thoughts are hidden. We don't even know what we're thinking. We're thinking though. So it ain't about beat them up and all that stuff because they don't want it. Right? We're talking about friends and family. We're not talking about just people out here. We're talking about friends and family. Right? You be yourself. One, you be yourself. Two, know that you have nothing to prove to them. You don't have anything to prove. You're just being yourself. Right? No different than, the guy sits at the piano. Everybody, he's like, I ain't nothing. That's just what I do. No, but I'm holy like you. Yeah, well, I've been playing piano since I was 2 years old. Like, but how come you're not in the stuff in the? Because just know how to play the piano. That's how it has to be when you're more. This is just who you are. It's just who you are. You're more. You might wear a turban, you might wear a fez, you might have an ankon, you might have, shirts with no collar, you might have a dot right here sometimes. It's just your culture. You might go in your pocket, pull out crystals. Somebody else go in their pocket, they pull out cigarettes. Why are you tripping? Oh my gosh, that guy he's a cigarette guy. No. So what's the big deal? Because our people have been so warped in their mind that they don't know who's who and what's what. They're really in a state of, like blindness for real. Like we said, even Stevie Wonder's gonna go like this and catch the mic that's falling. These Negroes, they can't see anything. Even Blind Man told you about the Moors in 1492 and all that. Like how he verify that? To put it in a song. How he verified that? Why did he go with that as the theme of the song? This blind man. But they say when you lose one of your senses, all the other ones are heightened. So, that's how he found out, because all his other senses were heightened. So it made sense to make a song about the Moors. Why not? Just made sense. How come it doesn't make sense to our people who have all their senses? Like the guy minus a sense knows about the Moors, And then the people with all their senses, they're debating, are we Moor or not? Flat out rejecting the fact that we're, all right, let them. Make sure you be yourself. Make sure you keep, regardless of how much they don't want it, right? Just throw seeds. Something's gonna catch. Just throw seeds. You know, doesn't have to be long talking. You just throw stuff in. You know what I mean? You're talking about some BS or whatever. Yeah, you know, Christianity is, you know, bad, and we should all be atheists and whatever like that. You know, just throw stuff out. You don't have to make a point. You don't have to be, you know, everybody look at you and now you're the head of the conversation. You know, I mean, none of that. They're talking about some Christianity, throw in some Constantine. They're talking about some Islamic whatever, throw in Sufism. Talking about some African whatever, throw in some Carthage. Throw in some Hannibal. Throw in some Dogon. Start talking about slavery in America and black this and that. You know, throw in some black cowboys. You know, black hockey players. You guys don't talk about that stuff. You're so black, power, and you're black. How come you're not talking about, like Brother Amari laid the list down, the black, all those guys? Why you keep talking about the same people over and over and over and over and over again for years, talking about the same people? It's like civil rights over and over and over and over and over and over. That thing's unconstitutional. Since the 1700s, 1800s, you still talking about civil rights? Let them do their thing. Don't get mad. Don't hate. Let them stay asleep. That's where they want to be. You know what I mean? Especially if you present it. That's what we're saying. Make sure that you just present it. At least when you get the keys, they can't say that you weren't told. Because you told them. And they'll just have to take their position. Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Mi'kmaq tribe and the British. This has taken place before the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between USA and Morocco. I found it intriguing that many Canadians don't know of the treaties that uphold the structure of Canada. Now, let's look at that. Let's look at that. All right. People are going to say Moors are Canadian in Canada. But check the play that is addressed that people never pay attention to because they don't think. The treaty is between the Mi'kmaq and the British. But it was done over here. It wasn't done in Britain. And Mi'kmaq is a tribe. Treaties aren't done between tribes. Treaties aren't done between two people that are foreign to somewhere. Those Mi'kmaq, that's new people. And then again, we're bringing in the Canadians recognizing the treaties that hold a structure together. when there's no treaties that hold the structure together. These people are fraud, both the parties, because they're not really the Aboriginal indigenous people. Why are they making treaties with foreigners? And then we check out where the treaties were taking place. If these treaties were taking place not at the, but on the land, lets you know somebody knew about your birthright and trying to keep you out of it by making deals with some other people to get alive, that those guys are the natives and we're the black people that came over here from somewhere else. When both of them are ones that came from somewhere else. And we're the actual that should have been making those treaties. But, you know, they reconstructed history. So certain stuff you're not going to find out. And on top of you not being able to find out, certain people, they're not even telling. We wish they would tell, but they won't tell. They refuse to tell. Right? They refuse to tell. Right? When we say Canaanland, and then you have people out there who are Moors that are talking about Canada, and they're not putting Canada in quotes when they say Moors and Kudro in Canada and stuff like that. They're not saying so-called and all that. Know that these people are democracy agents. Because why would you not call it by the original name? Why would you call it by the name of the colonizer if you're not down with the colonizer? Especially knowing that the claim has been made undisputed. We told you Juali Day that they sent us the proclamation that they made for the Aboriginal indigenous societies in Canada. Why would they give us that proclamation for? Why would they say, we can't give you the proclamation you want, but we have a proclamation similar that you can use? And you think they don't know that Moors are Aboriginal indigenous? All right. We'll see who would learn. But the ones who aren't learning now are definitely going to learn the hard way. Right? Definitely going to learn the hard way. Brother Aaron Thomas Bay. Islam Kudradwa El. First, I had a couple questions about becoming an honorary member of Canaanland Temple. What is the process to do so, if one is interested, and any other pertinent info relating to honorary membership status? With regard to the honorary membership, exactly what it is, honorary. The reason why we have honorary membership is because there were so many people outside of Canaanland that were studying from Canaanland, but didn't temples where they're at, which is why they were studying from Canaanland. Because we say that we're Moor Science Temple and we have classes online, so why not study with these Moor Science Temple Moors who have classes online every week? So fine, right? We said, let's just open up membership to anybody that wants to be a member of Moor Science Temple. The only Moors that we are taking the trustee position with are Moors in Canaanland. Outside of Canaanland, can't do anything for you, but connect you with Moors who are outside of Canaanland, because there's no paperwork sealing, or there's no prerequisites for membership. You get your membership form, you send your form in, we send you confirmation that we received your form and you're a member. You have your paper there to prove that you're a member. That's going to be sealed and witnessed by the Grand Sheik and the Secretary, and you go from there. Right? So the membership form, I'll email to you. Second question. I know you asked your viewers to send you some Black History Month info revealing the magical deceptions of our colonizers. So on that note, I've been wondering what sort of spin they were going to lace the new Black Panther movie with, and I think that I figured it out last night. In the trailer, I noticed the story plot is placed in a mythological city of El Dorado in some remote part of Africa. Rather than actually tell the audience about the historical connections between Africa and the Americas, they put the occult focus on Africa as a teaser instead. Hollywood is so slick with their illusionary schemes. Most won't even think twice about the significance of such things relating to the Spanish Empire, the Moors, and the Muisca legends from Colombia, Muisca. Once I see the movie, I will be able to better parse out the deception here. But trust and believe these jokers are masters of stagecraft, as there are no such things as coincidences in their colorable lore. Of course, so-called Black folks shall take the bait, hook, line, and sing what madness they present as a superhero fantasy film, because we want to be spoon-fed Black garbage from the colonial Europeans who have occupied us and our hereditary estates for centuries. I attempted to watch it last night on the first Fire Stick, but someone uploaded the trailer as a stream. So I will keep checking back to keep you posted on my review. Next, I have attached a link to a recent blog article that I wrote, which is a part of an ongoing Great Migration series where I shall be pursuing a few more articles, epistles during so-called Black History Month this year. The MTWS Monastic Temple of Wisdom Society is a new research society project that I am launching, whereby providing a platform to produce some educational materials and hopefully form an ongoing study group in my local area, as there is a need for such a group here in this territory, often referred to as City of Columbus, a part of the corporate state Republic, Ohio. Of course, the website is still under construction as I slowly build up the content, but have been able to put up some info already. Feel free to peep it out. Monastic, MONASTIC, Monastic Temple of Wisdom.wordpress.com. Brother Aaron Thomas Bay, and he's Millworks Art Studios. So if you want to reach your brother in Columbus, Creative Airbrush 2013. Creative Airbrush 2013 at gmail.com. And it's Monastic Arts, LLC. monasticarts.wordpress.com. monasticarts@wordpress.com and or monasticarts.wordpress.com, monasticarts.wordpress.com, and monastictempleofwisdom.wordpress.com. Right. If you are familiar Daylight put out this freestyle that they took off of one of these guys' hip hop shows or whatever. They didn't put the freestyle out or whatever. Now he murdered the freestyle, right? Like absolutely murdered it. And I can see why they didn't want to put it up, because it would pretty much just kill anybody who was up there playing some freestyle and all that stuff, right? So he had on his Instagram, the shit I said in that flex freestyle can get me killed. So just know, if something happens to me after I drop this, you know who did it. And then his battery is at 33%, right, on the thing. And then the more that sent it, it was at 6:13 p.m., right? So, Brother Navi, so if you hear something happens to Daylight, just know it's because of that freestyle. So my youth again with his Lanre messages. So you have the right to talk about men who've done more for blacks than anyone you know, who've been locked up for our rights nearly 100 times combined, willing to lose their life and freedom for something. You don't get to do that because you're doing something you judge from your computer, where you're comfortable while we sacrifice. Just stay home and have a job in the streets, and civil rights ain't everybody. It takes a level of honor a few have. Now, what's really disgusting is this individual is also calling themselves a general, right? You're a general, black power general, civil rights general or whatever, and you people have done nothing to this European. I was there personally and seen Europeans yield to Lanre Obey because he's standing up on his birthrights. I was there when the prosecutor told him, why don't you just get a license? How about just get a license and we'll drop everything? Why would the prosecutor make that as a suggestion in a case, ongoing case? There's on intermission and prosecutors telling the quote unquote defendant, how about just get a license and we'll drop everything? It sounds like extortion. That sounds like somebody's trying to make me abandon my birthright and denationalize myself so that they're not liable. But the Negro black colored mindset does not think like that. The Negro black colored mindset is march, picket, yell, scream, do all the things that are not gonna get this European out of our way. Now again, with Brother Lanre Obey, the Moor, everything dismissed. He has no issues right now with these people. I bet you, talk to half these black power guys, they got some felony and they can't even cross the border. And they're gonna be in that slave name, pushing that as that's who they are, but complaining that the white man's doing something to them, that's why they can't do this and why they can't do that, when really it's them doing it to themselves. Because the fact of the matter is that our people are Moors. Whether they want to accept it or not, that's up to them. but they're not going to get away with being fictions. They're not going to get away. You're talking about somebody who judging something from their computer. How is he judging something from their computer when he gets tickets, he fights them? I bet you, my youth, you never fought a ticket ever. You just pay like a good black Negro. You just go pay like a good slave. Make sure you got your insurance. Make sure you got your license. Make sure you got your stuff like a good slave. And when you get a ticket, you never fight them. You always, Moors, even Moors with licenses and plates, fight tickets and win. But y'all not hearing what Moors are saying. You're just going to go pay your ticket. IRS will come send you a letter and you're going to go pay them taxes. A good Negro. Don't talk about people who are online and they're just doing stuff from their computer. When you Negroes, when you have to face up to these people, you have nothing to say. Zero. You have no words whatsoever. You have no words. How? How is it that you have no words? How come Frank Gary talk all the BS about Moors, but when he gets pulled over, well, he's taking them tickets. They're not talking that kill cracker and stuff like that to the highwayman. They're not going there. Even some of these Moors. Highwayman comes around. Oh, trust, they turn to good Negroes. Immediately, they turn to good Negroes. Don't let these people fool you. You hear stuff and you think that, you know, Moors don't got stuff locked. Like, it's locked. Moors have it locked. Trust that it's locked. Right? We know this. Right? We know. We know this. People could play around all they want. They could play around all they want. Right? Taherka Bay, sharing out his stuff, you know, they slow-mo the single. Canaanland Moors Kudro challenged me with bars, and I responded with bars. Keeping it live as always. Please share. They need to hear this fire. Right? Jokers. Jokers. Don't have a clue who is playing their little game with our people, making sure that the people stay deaf, dumb, and blind, and not in their birthrights. Have them in everything else except their nationality and birthrights. Have them into everything except into their Moorish birthrights. They have them into some song this guy made about Cujo. Where's your album? Show me one album that you put out. Just one album. Forget single. Who does singles still? This is not the freaking 90s. Who puts out singles? Ain't nobody putting out singles. What single you putting out and you have no album dropping? Who you trying to fool? You only put out singles when you're gonna drop an album. Now don't tell me about you're putting out singles for the past 5 years. You never dropped an album in 5 years? All this BS about build this and build that, but you haven't dropped the album. But you got singles though. You're coming at Cujo with some singles. Where's your mixed CDs? If you're an artist and you're promoting yourself, what you would do as an artist is that you would promote by putting out mixed CDs to get a buzz going on. You got any mixed CDs out there? You got some mixed CDs? I got about 5, 6 mixed CDs. You have anything? Anything going on? Nothing at all? Jokers. That's who people have been looking at as representatives of the Moors and who the Moors are. Dirty Moors. Big pen elders should be high posts, like the elder said. That's who's around still. There is an act of birth document and the birth certificate document, so unchanging the birth certificate name and everything that it comes with. You can't unchange the birth certificate name because that's not your birth certificate. And we keep telling more, national order of the day. Nationality is the order of the day. Nationality is the order of the day. So if you're saying nationality and you're talking about nations, then everything would be a record, not a certificate. You would not have a certificate with LRB on it. You would not have a license with LRB on it. Because you know that having that is those people's stuff. And again, you know, if Moors know how to live within contracts, then they'll know how to have LRB on these corporate instruments so they could do whatever it is that they're supposed to do, or not have LRB on those corporate instruments and be able to do what it is they're supposed to do and not be hindered. Just because of the fact that we know that when we start exercising rights, it's dirty Moors that these highwaymen or whoever else are going to be using to come at us. It's the finance that they're getting from dirty Moors. Finance that they're getting from Negroes, telling Negroes, you need to pay $5,000 right now to get this boot off, and Negroes going to pay. You get Mexican with a boot on, you see what happens. What boot are you talking about? Boot what? You find a Mr. Chin with a boot on and stuff and see what happens. Think they're paying? Pay what? Because they know. All they got to do is go in there and say no English. You get their lawyer, they have a citizenship. It's dismissed. The lawyer's not going to tell you that. Because the job is to keep the Negroes blind and dumb. No matter what's going around them, make sure that they are deaf, blind, and dumb. Have them not even think about the fact that somebody from the place where they said that they came from as slaves, somebody from there is here saying there are more and beating cases, driving ticket cases, beating them, doesn't have a license, beating them. You're not gonna pay attention to that? Not pay attention to Kunta Kente's talking Arabic and talking about Assalamu alaikum and all that? You really think these people were just some Negroes that they just picked up from somewhere and then they just threw the net on them and brought them over here? You really don't think these people were here? No Arabic been over here before some Europeans came over here. And it wasn't some invading Arabs that brought Arabic over here. Why is it so hard for our people? Like we say, they're going to get mad at CNN because this guy said that blacks are slaves on there. You don't realize that, yeah, you are. They're telling you because that's the truth. You want to call it slaves to whatever. Slaves to shoes, slaves to entertainment, slaves to fast food, slaves to freaking reality TV shows that aren't reality. So why would they call it reality? But then it's only certain people that watch this stuff. The world doesn't watch reality TV. Only certain people in North America. That's it. Now, reality TV, but TV is not reality, but it's called reality TV, and you don't think that your program watching that you know what's coming next type of stuff? Because it's reality TV, that's not reality. And I don't know why the world is looking at us like you don't get it yet. There too. Laugh at the nations of the world. Because everybody knows, like we've already put on the record, anybody from any country, when they build with an active Moor, their question is, how do you know? And why don't your people know? Why don't your people know what you know? Because they don't study. And then they run to the back, and then they come out with their photo album showing all their family members with fezzes and turbans on, black and white pictures. Pictures that taken before they were born. To show, oh yeah, thanks for wearing that. Like, you made my day and stuff like that. Because they saw Moor with a fez on. Their day got made because they saw Moor. That guys every day, all day, could care less. As soon as they see a Moor, stuff changes. Stuff changes, immediately changes. Europeans included. But, you know, we don't know what we're talking about, right? Because we're confused. We think we're Moors, but we're really black people and all that. We're confused. We don't know what's going on. Right? Canadian Encyclopedia. Brother Hootie. I was reading out of a book some information that blew my mind. I'm sure that this information is unaware to the nobles. I was reading out of the book, The Natural City Revisioning the Built Environment. The Natural City Re-envisioning the Built Environment. Edited by Ingrid Lehman-Stevanovic. Ingrid Lehman-Stefanovic and Stephen Bede, Sharper. Page 20, paragraph 2. In many ways, arguments such as McNaughton and Uri's are compelling. They recognize the nature is meaningful in many different ways because of divergent social, cultural, linguistic, and historical perspective. Who can deny that the modern-day real estate developer sees Toronto's Lake Ontario waterfront from a fundamentally different perspective from that experienced by the Haudenosaunee people who lived on these same lands prior to their colonization by European settlers? I ended up researching who these Haudenosaunee people are, What do you know? No, not no black people, but lo and behold, yep, that's right, Moors. Here is the site that you can see clearly that it's a Moor as you enter in the site, and I was clear that it is clear that the Haudenosaunee are Iroquois people, Haudeneaux, Haudeneaux, A-U-N-E-E. Everybody knows it's only our people. It's only our people. Everybody knows. Moors know. So-called people from the continent know. Asian people know. Europeans know. But when it comes to America, these people don't know. They do know Jack, treating him like he's their slave master. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And again, our people are looking at us. They're looking at Moors like we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's up. What's up when we're the founders of civilization? Islam to the 11 Moors, 333. How? Right? It's a repetitive theme. But again, you know, go back to the beginning. We're back in the vortex now. Let's go back to the beginning. To be proclaimed at every meeting. We're back. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. To the members of the Moor Science Temple of America, Islam, this is the instruction from your Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I Noble Drew Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone, many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of the forefathers, you fear not, you hear, but will sacrifice utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Accordingly, and Allah would bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So welcome back. I don't know where we went, but it was a good ride. It was a great trip. And we are going to attempt again. We're going to attempt again to see if this works. Because they were hating. They were hating initially. Just, you know, campaign that you don't get it. You know, they want you to get everything else, but this, anything to stop this. Right? Anything to stop this. Right? So know that we're on it, Moors. You know, we're doing our thing. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Give honors to Allah. Give honors to the Prophet Noble Juali. We are very fortunate to be in this position that we're in, to be the ones, you know, for us to be the ones, and they're still hating. Crazy. For us to be the ones to continue on this great work, for us to be the ones to experience this nationality and birthrights, you know, exercise it, pass it on to others, and, you know, watch the Moorish hordes increase out here. So Islam to all the Moors worldwide. We're going to be uploading our stuff as soon as we get off. We're going to be uploading the response to Buddy's stuff there. All right. So make sure you share it out. If you're interested in getting some Moorish hip hop, you can go to willofalah.com. You know what I mean? And get whatever's up there. Go get it. And you can also go to khalifamedia.com for all of Pujo L's books. Again, sending a shout out to all of the Alodio-minded Moors, Islam, to all the people coming into their nationality birthright, realizing what it is, Islam to you, and to all the active Moors worldwide, all the scholars, everybody who's been doing their piece to make sure that this word gets out, Islam to you as well. And I can't believe they're hating on the screen share that hard. There's no way they should be hating on the screen share that hard. How? How come every screen could be shared except that screen? It's amazing how stuff just happens. All the other times, ain't no problem with screen share. All of a sudden, problems with screen share. But it's all good. We're going to get it up. Islam to all the Moors. We'll just do our prayer closeout. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Juali. Islam to all Moors. And I know that that screen share didn't work, but we do know that this screen share works. We do know that this screen share works for sure. We're not hating on this screen share. So Islam to all the Moors, Islam to the haters, no haters, that we got you too. All right? Know that we got you too. And don't hate. Don't go run and tell slave master, you know what I mean? Because we're doing exactly what you did, using our picture in your video, using my picture in your video, using my class thumbnails and all that stuff. So don't get mad. Don't get mad. Accept the fact that you're done. and just pack up your stuff and just, you know, go back to the temple, because you're not meant for out here, right? You're not meant to be active. You're meant to be passive. So you stay passive, and we'll do the active stuff. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. Islam.